Hey there, welcome to my first initial video on how to make your own Deco mesh wreath with a wired frame. My name is Amanda and I have an Etsy shop, Just Wreathing Around TX or Just Wreathing Around Texas. Love for you to go and check my shop out, but at the same time, if you're interested in learning how to create wreaths of your own, follow this quick 8-minute video and make your own. And then share with me and let me see how it went. I would love to hear from you. As you can see, I started with a 16-inch wired frame. I bought this at Hobby Lobby. And I am taking some black pipe cleaners and I am putting one pipe cleaner per section on the bottom 2 frames or 2 wires. And then I go and alternate and put another pipe cleaner in the same section on the top 2 frames or top 2 wires. This particular frame has 8 full sections, so I ended up with 16 total pipe cleaners around the frame. So now I am taking a 21-inch wide Deco mesh. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby as well. If you go on the right week, you can get it for 40% off. So what I did was I gathered across the width, as you can see me doing here, and then I started it at the very first pipe cleaner, and I usually do it on the inside. And then I tuck the extra piece that's going to be sitting there, I tuck it between the bars. Now, for the inside of this frame, I have actually measured about 9 inches per poof. So I am going to go around the entire inside of this frame and measure 9 inches per poof. To insert it into each pipe cleaner, basically all I do is I lay the mesh inside and then I twist the pipe cleaner on top. Here you can see I'm getting ready to go to the outside frame. Now, because of the spacing on this very first one, I don't measure a full 9 inches. I measured probably 4 to 5 inches to create a smaller poof, but it still stands up as tall as the inside frame poofs did. Now, as I work myself around the outside, I typically will add about 1/2 inch to 1 inch to my measurements because while it's spaced the same, the frame is larger on the outside than it is on the inside. So I did about 10 inches for each poof on the outside of the frame. And as you can see, all I'm doing is laying it inside of the pipe cleaners and then I twist to close it together. Now, I'm ready to do a 3rd layer. I like to add this 3rd layer because it just adds a little more puffiness to the wreath. And what I do is I take my full-length pipe cleaners, I fold them in half, and then I cut them in half. This allows me to have a smaller pipe cleaner to be able to add the extra puffs to the middle. So you'll see there what I did was I measured about 9 inches. I take that puff, I take that half pipe cleaner, I wrap it around, fold it just a little bit, and then I'm going to attach it in the middle of the original 2 rows of puffs. And then you can see I close that pipe cleaner on the back. Make sure that you fold those pipe cleaners up because they can kind of hurt if they pinch you a little bit. So I am going to work myself around the frame one more time, adding this 3rd layer of puffs all the way throughout. When I get to the end, I basically will cut off that mesh and then I tuck it again in between the frames so that I don't have any mesh sticking out of the top. So this takes a little bit of extra time, but you can see in the end, it's a very puffy. And then if you will go around and just kind of stretch out your mesh, it'll puff it up just a little bit more and it adds a little more volume to that wreath. And now it's time to start working on cutting ribbon because we want to add some beautiful ribbons to the top of this wreath frame. So I've been wreath making a little over a year at this point. In the beginning, I was cutting each ribbon on its own by measuring it on my measuring mat and then cutting. Then I started watching some other wreath makers and seeing that they had this tool or this board where they would wrap the ribbon around it and then cut it in multiples. So what did I do? I went out to my garage and started measuring different pieces of wood that I had out there. And I ended up cutting myself a 12-inch piece of wood so that I could wrap my ribbon and cut it way faster than what it was taking me to cut before. So I ended up cutting 5 different styles of ribbon to mix and match into combinations for this wreath. The first set that you see here is a 2.5-inch wired burlap ribbon, a 2.5-inch wired black and white buffalo ribbon, and a 5/8-inch wired black sheer ribbon. All I do is I overlap them, I pinch them together in the middle, I put them in between those pipe cleaners, the rest of the pipe cleaner that I had left over. I twist it to close it, and then I snip that pipe cleaner and I tuck down the ends. The next group of ribbon that I used was a 2.5-inch brown or beige and white buffalo ribbon. It's wired. I used a 1.5-inch black and white buffalo check ribbon. And then I used, again, the 5/8 black sheared wired ribbon. All of these ribbons, or all of this ribbon, came from Hobby Lobby. You can look in their regular ribbon section and find the majority of these ribbons already there for you to grab. So as you'll notice, I'm using 2 of the same ribbons, and I first put one on the outside, or ribbon combinations. I first put one on the outside, and then I put one on the inside. And I work my way around the wreath until I have filled all of the pipe cleaners with the patterns or combinations of ribbon. Make sure to comment below and let me know if you have any questions about what you're seeing me doing on this video. So there we go. That's our finished wreath base. So then this is actually a custom order. So I had created a wooden sign using my Cricut and permanent vinyl to say, "Welcome to the Turnboss family." And all I'm doing now to be able to attach this sign to my wreath is I take 4 pipe cleaners, I fold them in half, and I staple it on the back side of the wooden sign. You'll notice I stick my pipe cleaners up. It's easier for me to grab them whenever I place the wreath on top. And then what I do is I wrap both pieces of the pipe cleaner around some of the inside bars. And then I close it up to hold that sign in place. And voila, we are done. What do you think? Comment below and let me know what you think. Also ask me any questions you have. Thanks for joining me today.